Hello guys, it's Woolsey. Welcome back to the review series. This is episode 6, and today we're playing Null by John165. Let's just get straight into this. Alright, so the beginning of this level is very ominous. It's an epic song. You can tell that this is an experimental level. And here we go, drop. This is clean, man. Boom, then that's the whole level. Yeah. About that. It's got quite a long ending to fill in the space. Alright, so we're starting the level off with this this cool effect right here, where this dot seems to follow the player and it moves in quite a cool pattern. It very cleanly moves away, like this entire cube section, it just sort of moves away from the player and it moves on. It's really clean how this level's done, but there's not enough detail to make it like amazing. So as you can see in the screenshot, there's literally nothing to the blocks apart from these dots, which look alright. However, there could be some colour, there could be some, I don't know, some detail around the outside of the blocks, there could be some saw blades to fill in a little bit of space, but I do appreciate the minimalism a bit. I don't know, I like the player colours as well. There's not much to the level, but it has some sort of charm to it in the beginning. Especially with the amount of movement of all the blocks, now everything's just cleanly set out. It's definitely clear that the creator prioritizes a clean level rather than a decorated, potentially messy level. And I feel like it's a bit too prominent in this robot section. So you've got some lines coming off the platform, but if you look at what the platforms actually are, it's literally just a diagonal block. Not much to it at all, and this art is very simplistic. But I do like the technique used with these circles, how it's got a black circle in the middle, then it's got a white circle, then it's got a black circle around the outside, so that these lines don't connect to the circle that's spinning around. I think that's quite nice. But yeah, it's basic up until this point. Now, I have a problem with this section. I do appreciate the spikes lining the outside of the blocks. It's quite unique. However, I feel like there should be some sort of black glow surrounding the blocks just to separate the outlines from the background outlines, because these are really fast moving. It's a little bit difficult to tell the difference between some of the outlines and the blocks, and it's all just a bit cluttered, especially when you throw so many portals in the mix without any glow behind them either. I like how the background's just not one spinny thing, but it's got two spinny things lined up next to each other, so it like kind of runs on, and that means that the background can move faster along the x-axis instead of just being in one stationary position for the entire section. So again, I feel like this ship section could do with some depth. So these portals could have some glow behind them, the outlines could have some glow behind them, there could be some glow overlaying everything, like some black glow, like a vignette maybe, just to make it a bit more intense, because that music's really like building up. It could have like a pulsing vignette. I don't know. It's a cool idea, but everything just feels a bit out of place. The structures are a bit awkward. Like there's this area up here that just has nothing. There's big spaces on the ground. You probably don't even have to hit that orb. Just stuff like this. Also, when this fades out, you can kind of see the seams where the circle was made. It's kind of ugly when it does that, but it also kind of looks cool. I don't know. Well, the best part of the level is this ship section right here. It's just really clean. So we've got some nice layering techniques here. We've got the arrows moving, and then we've got this window that has circles moving in the background. It's quite basic, but it's really nice that it's all moving fast, and there's a variety of backgrounds. So as you can see, when I press play, this all moves, and there's a brand new background with two effects on the screen at once. That seems to be the theme of this ship section. So it's got one effect in the middle, then it's got a complementary effect to go with it, and then you've got the effect with the lines and this complementary circle that actually looks really cool. Basic line effect, but yeah. It doesn't really matter that it's basic when it's paired with another effect that does look really cool. And overall, this entire ship section is really smooth, although I do wish that there was a yellow pad on the floor here, because it does tell you to go down, and then all of a sudden there's arrows to move upwards. I feel like there's missed potential in these blocks. I do like that the differing in brightness, and there's some little glow just to add a little bit extra detail. But I feel like each strip could individually move onto the screen instead of them being all packed together in one object. I feel like since the rest of the effects are all quite dynamic, I feel like these blocks could also be a bit more dynamic instead of just being one moving piece. And also the layered movements would look really satisfying, in my opinion. Alright, then we've got some nice music sync and a good transition to this UFO section. However, these blocks, when you have structures like this, like Flappy Bird structures, it leaves all this space in the middle. So in this space you could have some saws, you could have a block right here that's not as big and it could have some sort of different design than a clock. You could have a spike on it, you could have some sort of block here with a saw in it. There could just be a lot more like variety within this rectangle here that's just not occupied at all. Again, we've got two effects on screen at once. They're not really effects, they're just sort of, I'm going to call them intensifiers. So you've got the moving lines across the screen to make it feel like you're going faster, and you've got these spinning squares that they're not really effects, in my opinion. They're just sort of there to exist and fill up the empty space that isn't filled by any deco. Then you've got this really exaggerated spike section, which is quite cool actually. It's just spamming and then letting go. That's all there really is to it. I mean, these arrows are cool, but there's nothing to the arrows. They're just basic arrows that fade in and out on player color 1 or 2. I don't actually know. Maybe they're two different colors. I don't know, because I'm using two of the same player colors. But as you can see, there's layered movements here that could definitely be replicated in this section with these slope blocks. And then yeah, there's a 15-second section on the end with literally nothing to it. Thank you for watching this review video. It's been short, but there's not much to say. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed making the video. 11 minutes. That's a really well done. Jesus.